In this video, we will cover relative frequency. So we're going to cover some terminology to start with. Theoretical probability of an event is the number of ways the event can occur divided by the number of total outcomes. So for example, the theoretical probability of rolling 1 on a die is 1 over 6. Experimental probability of an event occurring is the number of times that it occurred when the experiment was conducted divided by the total times the event occurred. Relative frequency. The frequency of an event over repeated trials as a fraction of the total number of trials. Expected frequency is the number of times that a particular event should occur. So probability can be calculated using the formula on your screen, and this is more specifically called the theoretical probability. You should have seen this previously. But we can also determine the probability based on the results of a trial that has been repeated many times, such as testing the effectiveness of 100 light globes. This type of probability is called experimental probability, which is based on the relative frequency, that is the number of times of an event occurs compared to the total frequency of outcomes. On your screen you can see two formula for experimental probability. It can be found by the number of times the event happened divided by the total number of trials. So again, expected frequency is the expected number of times an event will occur over repeated trials. This is found by multiplying the theoretical probability by the number of trials you are conducting. On your screen you'll see a question. Stephen rolled a die 100 times and it recorded his results. We need to find the experimental probability of rolling a 2. So if we're trying to find the probability of 2, we look at our table and we go to the frequency. It occurred 40 times. But there was 100 trials, so 40 over 100, which can be simplified down to 4 over 10, and then furthermore down to 2 over 5. We need to find the experimental probability of rolling a number greater than 5. So how many times did 5 happen, or greater than 5 happen? So we're only looking at our outcome for 6, which was 20, over 100, which simplifies down to 1 over 5. What is the theoretical probability of rolling a die? So again, theoretical probability can be expressed in a similar way. Rolling a 2, so how many 2 are there on a die? There's 1, and there's 6 faces, so 1 over 6. What is the expected number of times you would roll a 2 in 100 rolls of a die? So remember, your expected equals your theory multiplied by trials. So for our case, it is 1 over 6 times 100. Which is approximately 17, which means we would expect, if we rolled a die 100 times, to get 17 2s. But as you noticed, it sometimes isn't the case. In this case, 2 came up 40 times, which is well above what we would expect, but it can occur. So to end this video, we'll do a quick recap. Remember, experimental probability can be found by then dividing the number of times the event happened by the total number of trials. And remember, expected frequency is the expected number of times an event will occur. So that can be found by multiplying the theoretical probability by the number of trials you conduct.